It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. Productivity is so much more than merely getting a lot done. There's an outdated notion that being successful involves sacrificing what we hold dear. But according to today's guest, Rodden Robinson, we are surrounded by male-dominated theories on productivity, which measure success by what we accomplish. She believes that it's important to make time for what we love. Tara is the author of Sexy and Soulful, A Woman's Guide to Productivity. Welcome, Tara. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, Tara, I'm so happy that you're here because I think this is a really relevant topic in today's society. We are just so overstressed and so often we feel like we just can't get anything done. So I want to begin with talking about the difference between the male and the female approach to productivity. How are we different?
I'm so glad you started with this question. I don't know if you read Melinda Gates' new annual letter, Melinda Gates being the wife of billionaire Bill Gates. Melinda Gates wrote her annual letter on what she referred to as time poverty. And this is the situation that women worldwide find themselves in, where we carry the burden of unpaid work. A lot of times we women here in the United States work outside the home, and then we come home and we work inside the home for 4 to 5 to 6 hours per day. If we're working outside the home, obviously it's not per day, it's in our nighttime. We are laboring under this male-dominated idea that paid work is the most important thing, that the male view of success is about winning, it's about control, it's about dominance, and that's largely what we hear in productivity methods and productivity expertise is we put paid work first. Paid work is more important than anything else we do, and that our personal lives should come second or last. But our female gender norms are very different from masculine gender norms. Female gender norms are about putting relationship first. It's about collaboration, cooperation, caretaking. And we don't hear those kinds of words in the way that productivity is expressed in the general sense. If you were to just Google personal productivity, what you would hear in personal productivity is more of the male norms of control, of competition, of dominance, of winning. And in fact, we can even hear this in the way that accomplishment is expressed in sort of slang. And I feel that it's time for us to redefine what it means to accomplish things without having to use words like crush and kill and murder. Those are not feminine gender norms.
So Tara, with this understanding that you've just explained to us, how do we translate that information into meeting everyday stresses, into getting everything accomplished?
So I think there's kind of two answers to that. And I'm going to address the last part of your question first about everything. I think we need to start asking ourselves, do we need to have it all? What does it mean to have enough? What does it mean to prioritize rest, play, creativity, relationship? And so I don't necessarily feel that it's important for us to quote unquote get it all done. I think the first thing we need to do is reevaluate what all is and ask ourselves, what does it mean to have enough? What does it mean to reside in a place of abundance and enough rather than a place of scarcity and constantly scratching or striving or struggling? To answer the first part of your question, I would say putting love as our highest priority is one of the ways that I turn all of this on its head and begin to encourage women particularly to begin to ask themselves, what do they love most? Who is most important to them? And if we began our planning and our thinking about what we wish to accomplish around love first, how does that transform our lives? Because it is incredibly transformative.
And Tara, what it sounds like to me, I'm middle-aged and I'm probably really the first generation of women that is benefiting from some of those that came just before me. And I can remember a commercial years ago. The woman could go out and earn the bacon and come home and fry it up and then never let her man forget he was a man. And it was like we had to break down so many barriers and go for it full force. And now we're there, and we're achieving the things we wanted to achieve, and we're really striving for everything that those women sought for us. So it's like now it's time to sit back and take a breather and say, okay, we're here now. Let's redefine what this means to us. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Because I think in a way there's no there. All this striving of saying, I've got to go out and compete in a man's world and be as good or better than everyone else out there, him or her included, and then come home and all of our worth comes from our accomplishment. That in the end, that is so empty. That's not where our worthiness comes from. Truly, our worthiness does not come from a checked off to-do list or a line on our resume. Our worthiness is an innate property that we came into this world with. We don't earn our worthiness. That we came into the world with worthiness.
And, Tara, this may seem like a silly question because I'm going to ask you how we can discover or rediscover what we love most. And we would think that would just be something natural that we would know. But I think so many of us have forgotten what it is that is important and what we love. And so how is it then that we can discover or rediscover what we love most and incorporate those loves into our life?
Great question. And I don't think it's a silly question at all because, and I am also middle-aged, so I can totally identify with you there. I think life makes it very easy to forget what we love or to at least lose track of it. And I encourage women to become archaeologists of the soul, so to speak, that we begin to re-explore our lives from earliest childhood and begin to relearn or rediscover these things that we loved most. Sometimes these things get stuffed away, we hide them away. In my case, for example, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a writer and an artist, but my dad encouraged me to have a quote-unquote more practical career. And so it was only here much later in my 50s that I've really rediscovered the artist side of myself and rediscovered that love for making art. So I think it's a process of coming back into who we were as girls and teenagers and young women and rediscovering those selves, those past selves, and allowing those past selves to impart those dreams back to us. And what a powerful way to integrate our lives across all this journey that we've all had that is often so complex and has so many both beauties and painful struggles. I think it can be a very beautiful way to integrate our lives and also to bring all those loves into the present moment so that we can honor them and make time for them.
Tara, for someone who may be caught up in the stresses that we talked about or the sense of urgency or importance in life and is just in that whirlwind spinning round and round, what advice do you offer to help that person find balance?
I think one of the first things women need to realize, especially if they're in that feeling of running and getting nowhere, is that slowing down is not your enemy. Slowing down is the very best thing that you can do. One of the things neuroscience teaches us is that our brains manufacture our experiences of time. And so the more details our brains write down into memory, the brain uses that as a surrogate or a way of estimating time passage and says, oh, I'm getting lots of details. That must mean time is passing more slowly. When the brain is not writing down very many details and everything is going by in a blur, the brain takes that as a sign that time is passing more quickly. So when we're rushing, we're actually creating an experience of time that we really don't want to have. That sense of time pressure actually gets more intense and worsens as we rush. So one of the very first things I teach my clients is use some techniques for centering, use some mindfulness techniques. Notice the details around you. Even 30 seconds is going to slow the physiological stresses. And if we just take a deep breath, physiologically, that decreases your heart rate. It lowers your blood pressure. But that also gives your brain time to write down details in the world around you, which is then going to give you a relief from that sense of time pressure. That's one very simple thing that's actually an incredibly powerful practice.
The book is Sexy and Soulful, A Woman's Guide to Productivity. If you would like to learn more about Tara or her work, you can visit her website, tararobinson.com. Tara, thank you so much for being here with us today and for this reminder that may sound counterintuitive, but to be more productive, slowing down is the best thing that you can do for yourself. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you, John. It was a great pleasure.
We'll be right back. Hi, this is Joan Herman, host of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Did you know that Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life has a free monthly digital magazine that can be read online or emailed to your inbox? Every month, nationally recognized leaders in their field provide information to educate, inspire, and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. Check out a copy of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life 24/7. Visit cyacyl.com and be sure to tell your friends. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided are the opinions of our guests and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on the site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.